Right, looking at one of the business angles coming out of the big story from the weekend. Thousands of tourists evacuated from the Greek island of Rhodes and now from Corfu as well. The continent is bracing itself for another heatwave. We're having a look at what it all means for travel insurance. Toshita Chauhan is business head at Policybazaar.ae. Toshita, it's lovely to have you in the studio. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Randy.
So where do we stand with travel insurance when it comes to cancellations? If we look at what's happening in Europe at the moment, under what circumstances can you pull the plug?
So it's very important before you travel, you have to buy a travel insurance cover, which covers trip cancellation. And by default, not all travel insurances cover trip cancellation. So you should be very careful when you are buying travel insurance that it should cover something like that. And that needs to happen before you take off for your holiday. You cannot be on your holiday and then buy that cover and, think that the insurance company is going to cover you. So travel insurance companies will mainly cover travel cancellation due to few reasons, which could include that personally you or someone in your family is sick, or you've had a death in the family, you've been to a place where it's, certain climate conditions or political conditions sort of make it unstable for you to be there, which is in the case of Europe at the moment. And there are certain sub-limits within the policy that the insurance company will reimburse you for your cancelled flights, cancelled hotel bookings if they are non-refundable. But they will only be within a certain limit.
So let's have a look at those unsuitable conditions with climate, because that really is what we're talking about here. At what point does a heat wave become enough of an emergency for that clause to be able to kick in?
Right. So a heat wave will become enough of an emergency if it is declared by the government that because of that they're unable to do certain things in the country. They're closing down certain tourist attractions. For example, in Italy, they've closed down few tourist attractions because they're no longer able to accommodate people there. And if there is something booked in for that ticket, yes, it will be reimbursed. The insurance company will sort of have a view. You have to apply for a reimbursement after you have a ticket or a hotel booking which is non-refundable, basically. Otherwise, if it's refundable, then you're sort of, covered. And they will not cover you for your flight ticket back home. So in case I have a flight ticket booked for the 1st of August and I need to fly back today, I will have to make that arrangement. They will only refund you for something which is booked on the 1st of August that has to be cancelled, which the airline is not able to cancel. But in such cases, the airlines are also flexible. So even if you've booked a saver fare, which does not guarantee cancellation or a free date change, they will be able to try and adjust you in, earlier flights or make those accommodations for you.
What if it's not at an emergency level yet? Governments aren't saying, right, we're cancelling X, we're evacuating, what have you. But you're sitting here looking at where you're due to go and thinking, no, I don't want any part of that. It looks like it could get dangerous.
Yes. So in that case, unfortunately, if that's a personal decision that you're making, that you do not want to continue with the next part of your trip because of these situations, no, the insurance company will not cover cancellation like that. So it is only really in forced conditions when there is a cover which is given to the insured.
What if you're already out there and it starts feeling a bit too close to home?
It's tricky again because it can't be personalized that I think that I'm in danger. It has to be more of a national emergency or something in the international news, which I think the what's happening in Europe is part of that.
What if, and I realise I'm putting all sorts of scenarios in front of you, but on the personal front, if you've got a health condition, a heart condition, or something that would make it more dangerous for you than others to be in extreme heat, can you start putting that in front of an insurance company?
Yes, you can. All the Schengen sort of visas, which are given out to people who do not get a visa on arrival, all the nationalities, they are required to sort of, show up with a Schengen travel insurance when applying for a visa. That does cover your basic medical expenses in that country if you were to fall sick there. So that part is covered. But also the UAE travel insurance does not cover any pre-existing medical condition. So you could have, let's say, a heart disease or a blood pressure issue when you are out there and you feel sick, that will not be covered. But if you think that it's dangerous for you to continue your trip, it's again a personalized thing. So it doesn't apply to everyone. So unfortunately, that's not going to be covered just for you.
Are you being asked these kind of questions by
Yes.
customers at the moment?
Yes, we are. And, we always encourage that please buy travel insurance before you travel. We've also had cases where people are out there and they have bought travel insurance, but when they're filing a claim, it's an instant reject.
What else are people asking you? What are the main worries at the moment?
So the main worries are mostly about, hey, I've booked another 2 weeks of my holiday and I'm still here. I'm going from one country to another. I have a flight, I have a train. I don't think I can cancel it. It's non-cancelable. What can I get in return? And we then have to explain to them that the fine prints of the travel insurance policy will only cover you up to a certain amount, whether that's $5,000, 10,000 euros, etc., basis what plan you've bought. So your holiday could be worth 60,000 dirhams, but unfortunately, you're only going to get back about $5,000 or $10,000 of what you've booked this travel insurance cover.
Insurance companies, there's a stereotype that it's tricky to get money out of them, that they will argue the case with you. What are you hearing and seeing about this?
I think insurance companies, because we had a similar situation last year as well with the Europe heat wave, and they were quite flexible in paying out claims anywhere. And they do not sort of look at it as a blanket, a decision. It's more of individual cases, because all of this sort of goes into a cash reimbursement claim filing. So all the cases are reviewed. We're able to fight for a few customers where we know it was, necessary for that particular family or that individual to come back to their home country. So in those cases, yes, we're able to go back. But again, generally, all these things will not be covered if you think you are in danger, particularly.
You mentioned the fact that we had this extreme weather in Europe last year as well. With more and more extreme weather, with climate change, do you expect to see a change to what policies cover, how they're written?
Yes, absolutely. Because if you see last year, we had a lot of baggage delays in Europe, and there were just bags and bags piled up at the airports. A lot of people did not buy sort of, baggage cover or baggage delay insurance. So we see that now that's mostly in the basic cover. A lot of insurance companies have put a small cover or small amount for that, because they know that that's what eventually the customer needs. And we will see this evolving more now that, certain types of claims are being filed more frequently.
Well, thanks for joining us this morning. Toshita Chauhan is business head at Policybazaar.ae, talking to us about insurance with some very scary pictures and headlines coming out of Europe at the moment. Thank you for those who got in touch with questions, and thank you so much for joining us and covering those this morning.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
Join the conversation.